Hello. Hello. I've got lighting going for once. So we'll see how long she lasts. You are free. You are freedom and you are free. I want to start with that. I'll take my gum out so that I don't know, I'm not chomping. I wanted to check in, as usual. That's what pulls us here. But I wanted to talk today about the spiritual journey Bowie's walking by, because it's interesting. In the beginning, which it's always all beginning, and it will take lifetimes. Even one lifetime is only the whole of it is only one beginning in a way. And there's no place that you're trying to get anyway. So to use the word beginning and as if there is an ending, there isn't. But bear with me. In the beginning, when you first start to awaken. So for me, this timeline, in my early 20s, I would say, and it's always beginning. But when I really started to become aware that there was a belief system that I could obtain and occupy and house and play with that was going to be more fulfilling for me to live through, yet this belief system challenged, all of the original programming and belief systems that I was given. I would say that was in my 20s. Early to mid 20s. So, and then especially I would say about 24, 25, when it was like, okay, wait, I'm on a spiritual journey. Things are unfolding before me. I'm being shown things. Like when it started to feel as though I was interacting with something outside of me inside of me and outside of something that I could not see. Something that I was perceiving as outside of me that now I guess I understand as is within me. There's a lot of hand-holding in the beginning. It's very like the angels are picking you up off the ground. They're pulling you up out of the ditch and they're saying, come here, let me show you, I've got you. And the interesting thing on the journey is that at a certain point, you don't have that hand-holding anymore. And it's just a part of like the spiritual maturity, I guess, because what's happening is, and I don't think I knew this until more recently, but what's happening is that you at a certain point become aware that like it was always you pulling you out anyway. And so these two like disparate selves are coming together to be one, to find an equilibrium. So it is you that's pulling you out of the ditch. It's you that's in the ditch, and it's you that's pulling you out. And there's people, special people, and I'm thinking of Katie, of course, special people, because we always make the joke. That's my best friend. We always make the joke that we would be in a ditch without each other, because I would be in a ditch without her, truly, because our relationship is very significant in that we really mirror each other to each other. In a way that has allowed both of us to grow, in a way that it took what was for each of us like individual journeys and made it something, or it made it something very real. It made it something almost tangible. When it's reflected to you in another person, in a very significant, close relationship, it helps you, it assists you on the journey, because not only do you actually just have, a person in your life that you can depend on, that you can call, that you can go to, you also have just the awareness that while yes, there's separation and you are, your own individual doing your thing, you're also, it's you. It's just you in another shape, in another figure. And of course, everybody is you, but it's in the beginning, you really need to be shown that by way of somebody who is very close to you and is similar to you in a lot of ways. So what's interesting is that at a certain point, this hand-holding, it's less and less. It becomes more and more on you to maintain the state that you want to maintain. More on you to, I don't even know what it is. Do the healing work, or continue to develop the self-actualize. It feels less like the angels are guiding you, and it's more like you're going, hey, where's the guidance? Hello? Is anybody? And they're there. They're always there. They're always sending signs, of course, but you just start to, it's really the knowledge, their wisdom, your wisdom, but the higher wisdom, the source wisdom that starts to integrate into the physical vessel. And then you start to become this more integrated self where you understand you are responsible for you. If you want something different, you are responsible for making the change, for navigating the reality and the healing and understanding the levels so as to achieve that state or access that state or maintain that state or basically create for yourself what you want to create. I wrote something today at work, which was interesting. This is the journal we're on right now. To be an artist is to observe the self. To be an artist is to experience things you yourself have created and wonder. Oops. To be an artist is to experience things you yourself have created and wonder about who or what could have possibly made such a thing. And that's really and truly what it is. Katie, as I, mentioned her before, she and I talk all the time about like being what it is to be a creative and what it is to be an artist. It just feels so entirely inevitable. It feels so like all I'm doing is watching as an artist makes. And it's not even, I don't even want to go so far as, of course it's shorthand for me to say I'm an artist or I'm a writer. It's shorthand. It's what we use language for. Language is ultimately shorthand when you've, sat in the truth of what we are. What is that? The ancient wisdom, he who knows does not speak, he who speaks does not know. I've mentioned that before, I think, in one of these, and I first heard it from Ram Dass, quoting it because he was saying that, in a position of being a spiritual teacher and talking to a room full of people, and he's like, I'm aware of the predicament, but it's kind of a part of being human that we know and we don't know, and we know and we have access to knowing, but we're also here and we're having this experience, whatever it is. So I just find it so interesting because oftentimes I'll go back and read things that I wrote very, just writing because I write, because I love to write, because it's just what I do. And I'll go back and read things that I wrote that I don't remember writing, and I will just be struck by myself. And it's not even by myself, it's struck. I think that's what is so fantastic and beautiful and magical about it, is that I read it and I'm like, a human was experiencing what they were experiencing, and this is what came through. This is what channels. Like, it's beautiful. It's like what I live for. Like those moments, I just feel so profoundly that is what I live for. It's just the interesting thing too. And I don't know to what degree, like, because we're all creative. We are creation being, creation doing. It's what we are. It's what we are. I remember once I wrote, and we're always connected to source. We're never disconnected. That's the illusion, right? But there are moments where we feel and perceive ourselves to be more connected, right, than other moments. We have like those profoundly spiritual moments. And I found something that I wrote in one of those states, those profoundly spiritual connected feeling states that I wrote. I fear the truth is so good that we cannot comprehend it. And it always stood out to me because you understand, it's interesting to write, you understand the things that you write in different ways at different points in your life. I guess that could be the same with things you read, by other writers or other people who write things. Because again, what are these labels? I don't feel like, yes, I'm using my shorthand to say I'm a writer, I'm an artist, because yes, I am, and those are the things that I do. But ultimately, I am the observer. I'm in this vessel for whatever reason, however it came to be, and I'm observing a being. I'm observing the love of writing. I'm observing the act of writing. I'm observing the act of creating. It feels inevitable. It feels like sometimes I just ask myself, how did I get here? How did I get to be housed here? Because I know I am. When you root your identity in I am the source. I am. That's the source. That's the root. I'm all over the board, but I always am. But we can go back to the Bible if we'd like a historical, spiritual text to reference. Moses in the burning bush. Moses says, God appears to him and says, I'm going to free, my people. And he says to Moses, like, go and tell them I'm going to free the Israelites. And Moses is like, well, who should I tell them is freeing them? Like, what is your name, basically? And what is said to Moses, or what Moses channels, is, I am that I am. I am that I am. I will be that I will be. I'm becoming that I'm becoming. Those are like some loose translations from the Hebrew, but closest translation is I am that I am. I am. That's the root of everything, is I am. And we have the power to say I am and then blank, put anything there. That's our creative power. That's our God-given power. And that's why I always say, like, we are creation, being, creation, doing, because what we are is a verb. We are not like static, I am artist, I am writer. I guess for the purposes of our shorthand and for the purposes of historical context, obviously language serves its many purposes, okay? I'm not disputing that, but what's being said is, when you create and when you get into that space, into that flow, when you are creating, the ego, the self, really isn't there. And it's a fantastic opportunity for you to become aware that you are the observer and that it's inevitable what's happening. Like, I am just observing an artist. I remember having a very profound experience back in Tallahassee in my old apartment, in my treehouse, in my beautiful, beautiful apartment, which was just covered from wall to wall. Whatever room you were in, the kitchen, the bedroom, the living area, whatever room you were in, it was covered in my writing, in my art, in things that inspired me. It was just, it's fantastic, and it was just in my beingness. It had pens everywhere, and lighters over here, and a box of cigarettes, and my 52,000 journals, and my books, and my whiteboard covered in my scribblings, and just everything me, everything this vessel, right? And it was like, I am observing the lifetime. I'm living the lifetime of an artist. Because, growing up, I'd watch all of these greats or interact with great artists and their work, writers, musicians, whatever, and just think, like, just the desire to be that would nearly kill me. I mean, there were periods I would go, I can't listen to music because it's too painful. It's too painful to experience such art and resonate with it on such a level that I feel like I am it, that I feel like it's not enough for me just to listen. I have to eat it or something. I have to become it. And it would disempower me sometimes, because I'd feel so misaligned, like, how am I here and how am I not just this song that exists that moves me to tears? I feel I am the song. I feel I am the creation of that song and the tornado that is that art. And now I understand. It's something that, what is that other saying? They always say, like, life can only be lived in the present, but it can only be understood, like, in hindsight, something like that. I'm butchering it a bit. But what the awakening allows, I mean, it allows for many a thing, but one of the things it allows is for you to see in the present moment, like, you have some kind of future awareness, like knowing your timeline in a way. It's not about knowing all the precise details of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen, but it is about knowing in a larger sense that you are living the life you desire. You are already. And the more you accept that and occupy that place of seeing, the more it feels that way to you. And I just had this profound moment in Tallahassee, like looking at my apartment and seeing it was just the most like artistic, beautiful representation of me, like my space covered in representations of my life over the past 2 years. And I just was like, I'm in the body of an artist. Like I'm seeing through the eyes of an artist. Like this is the lifetime. This is what I've always wanted. And I just didn't know it until now. It's fantastic. I got all passionate there, as I always do. But yeah, I guess there's never a point to these, but is there a point to anything? We make the point. That's the whole point, is that you make the point. The point of living is making the point. We create meaning, and that's what makes us artists, because everything is virtually neutral. Everything. All that is a neutral. It's just existence. It's just beingness. It's just is. It's just what is. And we, in these individual, vessels, we with individual perspective, we have the opportunity to create meaning. That's what being an artist is. And we're all doing it. It's just the level to which you're aware that you're doing it. Because once you're aware, you can begin to create more of what you actually want to see, and you run less on how you've been programmed to see and to make meaning. It's fantastic. It's fantastic, and that's the place I'm in. I guess this won't be too long because I have things to do. I have things I'm meant to be doing right now. Meant to be writing an article, so I'm going to go do that. But thanks for listening to this little short poetic ramble, we could call it. You are free, you are freedom, and you are free. Say it with me, and stay with me on this, okay? Okay? Because that's the thing about being on this journey, is that no one's going to see it for you before you see it for you. And if you're like me, you're going to go a while before people see it in you and see it about you. I saw this thing online recently, someone talking, I guess, I don't even know who it was a TikTok, but he was saying, like, when you want, when you're starting out and you have a vision and like you're so sure of your vision and you just know. When you have a vision, you just know. That you want people to support you so badly. Like you want people to see in you what you see and what you're creating and what you're bringing to fruition. But that's the time when nobody supports you. Like you don't have the people support. I mean, you have, of course, people in your life support you, but they cannot see the vision. It's not until you've made your success that then all the support you wanted comes in and everybody's like, yes, wow, we love it. And that's just kind of the nature. It makes sense at times, because sometimes I think like, yeah, like, of course I expect people to see what I can see, but like I haven't even brought to the physical reality yet all that I'm meant to bring. I feel I've brought so much, I've created so much, and that even feels like such a small fraction of what I'm here to create. So how can I expect anyone to see, what at this moment exists in my vortex and in my perspective? And it's when you realize that, it allows you to be in the present moment. It allows you to stop like desiring the like success that is inevitable, like, because this is a magical place to be. And it's those years spent where people don't, quite see it and they don't believe in it. And maybe they're judging you. Maybe they're, thinking like, who do they think they are? Like trying to do something in this world, like trying to have, a purpose, whatever. People may be judging you, or they may support you, but they don't totally see it, whatever it is. It's the years spent in, and there are moments where you may be totally isolated. You may make choices that everybody in your life says, what the fuck are you doing? It's those moments that build your fucking character. They build your strength, and they build like your ammunition, like the force behind the vision, the force that inevitably like builds within you and births what you are to birth here. It puts a lot into perspective. It allows you to be grateful for where you are at on the journey, because there's going to come a day where, you know, you're looking back on your life, right? And you're going to look back at this period of time, the magic, because right now, like, I mean, and it all is always within, but I think about all that I am to bring to reality. And for so long, I've been so hard on myself, like, you're not producing enough and you're not producing fast enough. And you have all these big ideas and they're not coming to fruition. Like, you're starting so many things, like, just being so hard on myself. But the truth is, I'm exactly where I want to be. I want to be here right now. I want to be in this precise moment, because there's going to come a time when I'm going to look back and it's all going to, you know, the success is going to be said and done. The name's going to be made, and I'll look back and be so fucking jazzed to think about this version of me. You develop this fearlessness. You develop such belief in your vision. Like, and that's what's so magical about this, is that people don't see it. They can't, and that's okay. Especially when you are bringing to this reality something which hasn't been seen before in quite this way, which most of the time, like, visionaries are, artists are doing that. They're birthing new. They're divining from the spiritual plane, from source awareness. They're divining something larger. We're all attempting to bring into the spiritual planes, or bring into the physical plane, so as to raise the vibration, to raise awareness, to awaken. That's what's happening, and that's what we're doing. And it's all part of the process. So you're exactly where you're meant to be. You are free now. You are freedom. I am that I am. I will be that I will be. I'm becoming that I am becoming. That's it, mama. That's it. Mic drop. Okay, thanks for watching.